Good afternoon, darlings. We're doing a video for Patreon for the next 2 weeks because I'm overwhelmed with everything going on and I don't know how to write a few words to the level of what I'm just walking around and having to face, right in my own village with this Venus rising, and to the extent of the blackness and the attack, and this basically it's the rose line. So I just want to help you. We're going to begin just by looking at a few pictures. I try to explain. So Abbé Pierre for Quasimodo, this little man, this is the gnome, this is your brain stem. So he's a famous personality in France who has just been accused of pedophilia and rape, all the same thing. So they tell us, this is the book, Abbé Pierre, written about my village by J, the J of Scorpio, William's birthday is coming up on this solstice, an American man, and it's made by Dr. Appleton and Company. So the app L, and you know that my village is the 5-pointed star. So this is me this morning. I've come to the market and nobody is batting an eyelid. Nobody is saying anything. This magnificent house that has been empty for 5 years. Nobody's ever lived at the top, but it was a bar. So the Rue of Saint-Saturnin, Saturn rules the structure, the bone, the skeleton. This is number 1, it begins here, but this is the last house. It's the number 17. It's the 8. Venus takes 8 years to make the 5-pointed star, which is my village. So I'm showing you guys because if anything happens to me, nobody can tell this story but you guys. So there's the duck. They've got the Gascon, this is the Canard, this is the Can-Can. And look at all these poles holding up the structure. They've just got the facades. They say to people, you put your persona on. Okay. You put your persona on, this facades. Right, so just look at, the book, Abbé Pierre, but just look at all this structure, all those poles, and the whole of this man's house is just completely, there's nothing left to his house. It's just every single room has been open, and all this was because the new baker of our village, we haven't had a baker, he died with the shots. A lot of people died in my village. All the women in that street are sick with cancer. This is the street that was remade. You can see it's been redone, but all that street was dug up and we had all the skeletons left open in 2022 for the 322. So it's just one thing after another. And now this whole house, number 17, that's the 8s, the passage, and there's a well in the middle with 3 roads like the fleur de lis, the bee, and nobody's saying a word. If I talk to somebody, they say, mais je m'en branle, means I don't care, and I just wank about it. That's what people say to me. So we got the pigeons, and this is written Vivaldi, the 4 seasons, the butcher, the traitor. So this beautiful old house. And that's what they did, and all they were meant to do was to put the baker, and the people running this company are called JM, Jupiter and Mercury, and they're just like a whole gang of gangsters. And this is the back, and we have the labyrinth in my village, as you know, and this rock, look, that's the keeper of the 4 corners, and it's been broken, and these are the stones, the philosopher's stone. So I just want to share the size of what's going on. There's the hole that's been dug up. I mean, this was just to build the baker. we needed a new bakery in here. So this is showing you the AB as well, the AB, the Ba, that road where the church is. This is the Rue de Saint-Saturnin with the red on the top. So Barbara with the black eagle. This is the gap. She's coming through just like we see Macron, and the hidden hand of Fatima. It's always coming out through these veils. The black eagle. So it was all happened since the new moon in Taurus that we had on the 27th, the 8th year cycle of Venus to make the 5-pointed star, and Venus is right on the V for victory. Again, this is the book, the Abbé Pierre. They show you the oval, they show you the egg, they show you that the passage, and that's why they've made this passage. You're not good. Te passage. So a passage, the corridor, the corrida with the bull. That's why there are the corridas in the village. This is the corridor. This is the 21 tarot card and l'histoire d'eau, the story of O. The O is the passage. The last passage is the black moon, the last phase of the moon. There is the village, the egg, 32290, the sword in the stone. This is Merlin and Arthur. This is Orion, and we've got Jupiter right on the top of the brainstem. The J of Scorpio. So when we have a full moon, when the sun is in Taurus, the moon is opposite in Scorpio, and this is the new line from Taurus to Scorpio, which is going to make the new tropics, but we're being put in the gap, the green line, in between Taurus and Gemini, the summer, and in between Sagittarius and Scorpio, the winter triangle. So this new cross is being made. This is inside the village. The labyrinth is on the drain pipe. Incy Wincy Spider. That was the corridor, the passage that they have made. That was the famous year that Happy went. The keystone, the cornerstone, the cat kills the egg. And my village, Enyon, is AIG. This is Ishtar, this is Venus. And this is what is happening right now. This gap is going to be christened. This whole area of the Madrid fault line is what has been happening in my village. We now have the cowboy city called CC Carros City. We have a buffalo farm. We have, in my tiny village, we have a buffalo farm. So let's just put, what's this? Buffalo farm, Enyon, Carchette City. So this is buffalo farm. We have got buffaloes. This is right opposite my house. You can see it. Look, they've even got their own lake there. So they make food, the buffalo farm. We've got buffaloes. There's a couple that run the buffalo farm. And this is the Enyon. We've got our bull ring right in the middle. And then Carchette City, Enyon. So we have a whole cowboy setup where I live, Carchette City, the village. You see these pictures. Look, we have our own shooting so that everybody can play shooting. They love to play shooting. They do all the Western dancing. That is the mutable cross closure. So where I live, I tell you, it's Narnia. This is the gap. This is the gap. This is the 13th gap in the brain, and I'm going to be showing you exactly. So the North Polaris, Enyon the egg, that's the bull ring, sword in the stone, and this is, so, you know, this is the connection. Giza, Gaza. Giza, Gaza. We need to open a big map. So that was for the coronation, the stone, and my village is the 322. This is, you've got the Polaris, the 5-pointed star, the new Polaris. And for this new moon in Taurus, we had Sun, Moon, and Mercury all conjunct to Uranus. And where I live, we have Uranus map. Anyhow, Google. So it's called Anus. 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 So anyway, Anus is right here somewhere when you drive to go ANAS, Anus. So this is the rose line. I'm going to show you. I've prepared all the pictures to show you. There is the 5-pointed star. Okay, let's just finish this. So the Leo da Vinci, the 5-pointed star, we've got water, air, earth, fire, and ether. We had the ether card pulled yesterday by Angie. The first card she pulled for tomorrow was the day of ether. So, you know, we're leaving the mutable cross, and now Taurus, Venus, when it should have been Aquarius, Saturn. That's why they're bringing down the house en Saturnin. So there's your ether. The Mount Olive, we have Saint-Mont, where I live, Saint-Mont, Gers. So all this area is Saint-Mont, where I live. It is the wine, the Saint-Mont, it is the Mount Olive. Okay, so this is the 8, this is the house that has been brought down. The passage, the 8s. The passage, this is the middle of the torso field where this house, the 8 is the X, marks the cross. To make this line, we've got the sun in Taurus, the moon in Scorpio for this full moon on the strawberry fields. And this is the green line that is going to be made. So there you have the Polaris. And this is the north line that goes to Pau. So the Appy Prince, this is Appy, the sword in the stone, the T's, we come off the mutable cross. This is your red and blue showing you Taurus. This is the T, this is the constellation of Taurus. The hourglass with Scorpio is incorporation, release, incorporation, release. It's the hourglass, you can see it. The empty shell of Venus. The keeper of the four corners is Orion. It's the brain stem. When you are at the throat, you get through the cross, the Osiris, and then you have to come through the throat. And Venus is on that V for victory. There is your Appy, the bull god. There is with her 2 Venus shells. This is the passage of the torso field, Venus at the throat. So you either go below or you find the throat out. So the fleur-de-lis, the 3 directions, is what my friend was telling me was at the bottom of this tunnel where they brought the house down. She said that there is 3 alleys. So this is the bee, this is Appy, Appy, the bull god, the beehive. There is the bee, there is the fleur-de-lis, and this is the top of your brainstem torch. You find Popeye and the olive, and that's what she had, Kate Perry, when she came out of that. She's holding the daisy. So there's your 5-pointed star in the apple, Aldebaran, and we're back to the beginning. So these pictures, this is the Tropic of Gemini, the Tropic of Sagittarius, and now this is going to move on to Taurus. So would you say that there's Taurus? Taurus would cut across France right there. This is the rose line. France right here. So where I am right there, this kind of goes, so I'm not claiming I get this. I'm just looking at this and I'm trying to work it out. But if the rose line is here, we're going to see more pictures. So we're leaving Gemini for Taurus, we're leaving Sagittarius for Scorpio, and we've got this war. As we've just left the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, it's this war for the new Polaris, the new cross. So, green line, Elizabeth line, that is the constellation of Cancer. And I've just found lots of old pictures. So Great Vatican Jesuit Satanic ley line system of World War II. So just you can see they've got the pentagram here and they've got those lines coming out there, the hidden hand of Fatima. So right now we're seeing the young female Mary Magdalene being turned into the whore of Babylon and the male into a nobody. Okay, you can read that, you know that, I've read that lots of times. So here is this gap between Sagittarius, Scorpio, Gemini and Taurus. Here is where the Milky Way is right now. So I reckon where I am is this Milky Way. Jupiter, Jacques, and now rising La Marianne. Rose. She's got all her roses. Venus in Virgo, the dark side of Venus in detriment. I just put that there because he's got his tea cozy on and this is all about Liverpool and Manchester. You've got the mouth. Spirit, Narnia, this is the gap, this is the Ice Queen. So Saturn and Leo, the sun. Okay, there's that rose line. So the rose line on this image is not going through France, it's going through England here. But I would imagine that this is the vertical and the line cut for me is the horizon. We'll cut across here, as we see in the Elizabeth line on the tube line. So that line is over on this side, it's more on the left. So I don't know, but you can see we've got the vertical here. We've got the vertical and the horizon. So I just leave this for you to think about and look at that. Got Istanbul, Turkey, so there's something going on right now. Again, I don't know why they're doing their peace talks in Midnight Express. So this, the spine of Albion, the top of the Tree of Life, but it's on an angle. And this is exactly where Jupiter is right now. The bottom of the tree now overlaid with their Kabbalah tree, the lowest realm, materialism, death, debt, the underworld, all controlled from the Bar of London. The top of the tree is heaven. So this rose line would go through where I live, right here. And would make sense with the Jacques Compostelle. Rose and Jacques, Venus, and the strawberry fields forever. He's giving her a strawberry, not a cherry. She doesn't want the strawberry, but Taurus is being given to Virgo, Mercury. Mercury in the sun, the cherry, the Venus flytrap, the brainstem, in Toulouse, the pink city. Okay, So this came out, this boy, 13 years old, who's lighting up Ibiza, the biggest DJ, 13-year-old boy. He's called El Figo. So the fig of fertility, 37, L. 13 is the B, the apiculture, and he's playing in Ibiza, the I of B, of the B, like Biarritz. The Lady Princess Diana was last seen at Biarritz. The beekeeper, the 13th cranial nerve, commonly referred to as the nervus terminalis, or terminal nerve, is a highly conserved, multifaceted nerve found just above the olfactory bulbs in humans and most vertebrate species. Ophiuchus is one of the 13 constellations that cross the ecliptic. It has therefore been called the 13th sign of the zodiac. However, this confuses sign with constellation. The signs of the zodiac are a 12-fold division of the ecliptic, so that each sign spans 30. So as we know, you can't have a 13th sign. So here he is, the 13-year-old beekeeper, as if the rising star in front of 10,000 people. Great. Okay, so this is so I've just done this reel. We don't want the sound. So Hawaii 5-0. This is the football match, the 5-0 coming out. The women of Gaza, this woman at the top of the throat with showing her hidden hand, the staircase, the hidden hand, the life of Brian to get to the brain, the hidden hand of Brigitte, as Venus is on the V, as Jupiter is on the... So the final score, but there were also 2 people killed, 192 hurt, 692 as is, so yeah, 264 cars burnt, 559, so 20, so those numbers are all occult numbers. So Paris is magic, this is the Magi, this is the magician. And there is Jupiter right on top of the wand of Merlin, Jacques and Rose, as Venus is in the V. There is Venus right in the V for victory for that football match on the 31st between Milan. The Pope is Italian and French. This is between Milan. Is Milan Spain? Is Milan Spain or Italy? Yeah, no, Milan is Italy. So this is the Pope, the Popeye. And it's being played in Germany, so you know you can't. 5-0 Milan, and the 500 days of Venus hidden, Mercury the Sun conjunct. We'll go back and look at all that. This is all coming up for holding the brainstem, the 2 eyes, Hawaii 5-0, Hawaii 5-0. You know, you're meant to alight the 3rd eye, not have the Hawaii and the 2 eyes. Okay, Osiris. So I'm just trying to really make this clear to where we are. I couldn't possibly have sat down to try and write this because I know that nobody really gets just how enormous where we are right now. Just, you know, just looking up and just watching this house being pulled down and nobody bats an eyelid. And so, you know, this is all the corridor. This is what was going on with the Paris Olympics, with Narnia, Vietnam, and this Brigitte Macron, and being this woman. I'd got no idea if it's true. Mars was on the Little Prince. It was actually just in Leo. The sun rules Leo, as the sun and Mercury are conjunct for the 31st, but for the new moon, the moon was conjunct to the sun, as Mars had entered Leo, and the sun rules Leo and the moon rules Cancer, and Mars is right in the middle. Rah. So there is Marianne Faithfull. We're at this gap right now. So hidden hand of Fatima that slaps the pimp, the Mac, the throat passage. Your new ruler is Jacques and Rose, the dark side of Venus. The new brainstem ruler, planet of the apps, created by design to birth Joey Star and Béatrice Dalle. So that is kind of where we're at. This famous film, La Haine, The Hate, in France. Béatrice was in Betty Blue. That was 37.2 degrees. Whoa, Black Betty. Hawaii in the V for Victory, and Jupiter on the torch of all gold eye on. This is Appy, the fake icon, the calf, the golden calf. So my weekly 2-week rundown 2 weeks ago, I was focusing on that golden calf, and now we've got the black rose, the rose that is rising. And I say Joey Star and Béatrice Dalle because this is really where Joey Star, Béatrice Dalle, Dalle means stone, and this is them, the famous couple that epitomise this new France. She was in Betty Blue, and we're going to have the moon coming up on that star. So I'm showing you this now, and then I'm going to show you again so you can really understand. That's what I mean when I say, because this is rising all around Paris. They have the HLM. It's not like in England where they mix the council estates with, you can have a very wealthy area with council estates right next door. In France, they made a circle around Paris, so this kind of violence would happen. Saturn, Neptune on the telltale of La Baleine, La Haine, Baleine, Sun, Mercury combust on the breast of Venus, bull's eye. Okay. So this is just for that football match. Again, I'm showing you, look at that lineup. Sun, Mercury on the bullseye, Uranus nearly under the 7 Pleiades, Jupiter bang on the wand but still in Taurus, and Venus the ruler right in the V for Victory. You can't get more in your face. And Saturn and Neptune on the whale's tail, as Saturn was when they brought out Strawberry Fields Forever. And we're about to have this full moon on the 11th of June. That is what the true new horizon should be, because Aquarius should take the new AC, which is actually the true north. And I said that King Charles is in Canada for the new black moon, where he announces that Canada is the true north, but that's going to be the true north. So you see Venus on the V for Victory. This is, I've got a 526 here, doesn't matter. Venus was just entering then. The hidden hand, the hidden hands, the 5-pointed star, which is my village, Venus, Jacques Compostelle, the shell, Venus, the Elizabeth line, the plasma event, the stick man, the keeper of the 4 corners. This is the man, the stone. There was the keeper of the 4 corners. They took the head off. They broke the stone. And the company that did this work are called JM, where we have Jazz in Marciac, in Marsiac, Mars, the head of the zodiac, Marsiac. We have the Jazz in Marciac, JM, Jupiter, Mercury. So the beach becomes the bitch, and that was the football match. Okay. So let's get to business now. The 27th, we had that new moon. That was when we had the slap. We had the hidden hand of Fatima rising. The hidden hand, Uranus, sudden shock, a sudden slap, as Uranus is still conjunct to Algol. And Saturn, bang, there. And if I put 1967, 1967, we've got Saturn here. How come just 1 year? So 1 year before 1966, Saturn, that's a lot. So Saturn seems to have moved a lot. So 66 is the 66, it's the apostrophe, it's 69, 66, and we're about to have these dates. 1966, Saturn was here, and then 2025, we have Saturn there as well. So tomorrow is going to be the first quarter moon, and we have this lineup in the sky, 30, so the football match, Jupiter entered onto the brainstem, the moon was in Cancer, Cali, for that football match, and the football match was played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the riots began as the moon approached that claw. Then yesterday, for the 1st of June, we had that thunderstorm. We had moon conjunct to Mars right in that gap. Now tomorrow, for the first quarter moon, we've got this lineup, Uranus, Venus, they show you here. So there we go. Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, it's a lineup. They're at it again. This lineup in the sky. So Venus will be bang in the V for victory. Jupiter is still in Taurus. Mars and the moon both in Leo. Let's have a look here. So 3rd of June, Pluto making a square to Venus. We explained all this. Chiron moving is now officially in Aries. They say here that Chiron is on 0 Aries, and Venus, they say, is at 1 Aries, but Venus is not at 1 Aries. Venus is in the V for victory. Venus will officially enter Aries on that 6-9, huh? On that 6-9, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. On the 6-10, Venus enters. So Saturn, Neptune conjuncts, what we were talking about yesterday with Angie is, you know, that structure within the chaos, conjunct to that ethereal energy, and that's the card that Angie pulled yesterday. So let's open, no, we just want to open show more. Okay. First quarter moon, we had the spirit of ether, the foolish man, and we had very much Pluto and air. Exactly as we see, Pluto is very dominant. Pluto is making this big square to the Sun and Mercury, still on Aldebaran, not quite as much as for that football match. They're moving away, but the Sun is still on the bullseye. That 3 here. And this is all about Mercury is still in Taurus, as Jupiter is also still in Taurus, but nearly entering Gemini. So in the news, there's been a shooting in, I just saw quickly, let's do another way, let's do news here. News stories, 2nd of June. top headlines. So top stories. Government to take legal action against COVID inquiry over Johnson. What's up? Okay, that doesn't look like latest. I saw something going on in Istanbul. So 2 people killed and hundreds arrested in France during Championships League. So you know, this is the level of how they want to present Catwoman to the end of Jupiter and Mercury, and at the throat at Osiris. This is the dark side of Venus. A 17-year-old boy stabbed to death. This is what they're showing in Paris. Saint-Germain, which are known as the OM, which is your medulla oblongata. Zelensky cast doubts on peace talks. So that's going on in Istanbul, is in the bull, and very much, and also Gaza. So again, just this dark energy that they want to attribute to that hidden side of Venus 5-0, and we know that it's that because that is the football score, 5-0. UK to build 12 new submarines and 6 new munition factories as part of a strategic defence review. So what on earth are they taking us into? And you know, he's called, this is the key, this is the Cairo, this is the Chiron, he's called Chi. So 6-3, 36, the closure of the wheel on this Milky Way gap on the other side, goes right through the new green line, through Sagittarius and Scorpio, Jupiter, Mars, Jupiter on the brainstem, and Mars approaching the big hit Regulus. So that is your first quarter moon. Mars is in Leo, Moon will be in Leo, square to Venus, not quite in Aries. Venus enters Aries on the 6-10. So then 6-4, when I'm 64. Still on that V for victory. 6-5, Venus has left the V for victory. And this is the big thing, is that the moon is coming up to Spica. So this is going to be, I mean, there's 6-6, the horns of the bull. And we've got the moon on Spica, Betty Blue. So 6-6, Mercury, the ruler, conjunct to Jupiter, both in Taurus, as Venus. Venus is still in Pisces, but a lot of people will say that Venus is in Aries, already taking on that dark energy, as Mars is in the home of the sun, and the sun is on the bullseye. I mean, this is basically dirty Diana. It's what I've always explained. It's that Diana is sacrificed on the Seine. That's why during the Olympics they didn't stop saying the Seine is dirty, the Seine is dirty, because this is Diana, this is the moon, the sin, the river, and you've got the Ile Saint-Louis au milieu, where Notre Dame is, the Isle of Saint Louis, and Saint Louis is the sun god. But we have in America, St. Louis is in the Silver Gate. They've got the Silver Gate. So that shows us the Silver and the Golden Gate have now swapped sides by the end of that reign of the mutable cross. And we've got Jupiter and Mars, the ruler of the Golden Gate, that are now in on either side. So this over that either side, we had that for the Carolina floods. Now Mars is in Leo. So this is Mer Lion. This is really bringing up Mars, Mer Lion, as Jupiter is on Merlin. The Mer Lion, Mars and Jupiter kill Saint Saturnin. So the story of my road is Saint Saturnin. They've brought down the whole structure, the frame. They've left just the persona, the frame. What's going to happen? Is that front bit going to fall as well? Are all the houses, the people living in the houses are saying that all the houses will fall? I don't know. So Saint Saturnin was killed by Saint Martin, Mars and Tintin, Jupiter, and he was killed behind a bull. So Saturn rules the calves. Saint Saturnin killed by Saint Martin. Saint Saturnin of Toulouse, there he is, killed behind the bull. So he was killed by Saint Martin. Saint Saturnin, I showed you, that is the name of the roads. So Toulouse is the pink city. It's rose, the rose. In French, pink is rose. That's 6667. So 1967 was when the Beatles brought out Strawberry Fields Forever, and we've got Mercury and Jupiter conjunct right on the wands, as Moon is still in Virgo. So the Moon is still in Virgo. Venus is still exalted in Pisces. And then 6, 7, 8, and then 69. 69 is going to be, so this is the power to the people energy. This is, what it's all about. It's rising, the planet of the apps, the appy. This is the brainstem, the app, the bull god, Abbé Pierre, who's now been brought down. He was a famous man in France accused of rape, just like Marie-Thérèse. So then Mercury, by the 6-9, Mercury will be in Gemini. Mercury will be at home in Gemini, and the moon will enter Libra. On the 6-8. And then on the 6-9. Okay, so then on the 6-10, we're going to have the moon right on Antares, and Mars rules Scorpio, and Mars rules Aries, and Venus enters Aries. Venus enters Aries on the 6-10, Mars the ruler, so we're going to have Venus and the moon in the home of Mars. Venus in detriment, and the moon in detriment as well. The moon in detriment. We need to bring up this chart. Strawberry Fields Forever, FF. I was just thinking, when I was talking to you about this, the 13th of February is, of course, the Fertility Festival, FF, Fields Forever, Fertility Festival, FF66, French Football Federation, FFF 666. So, Strawberry Fields Forever is really marking this new axis. So let's get into, again, this 611. 611. Oh yeah, I wanted to open the chart of 610. That's what I was doing. So this is 610. And this is the line, the green line. So we're going to have the moon. So the moon is in full. And we've got Venus in detriment. So the moon in full, Venus in detriment, Mercury in domicile, and Jupiter in detriment. So Jupiter in detriment, Venus in detriment, moon in detriment, and Mars almost on Regulus now, almost on Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, and Mars, the ruler of Aries, where Venus is in detriment and moon is in full. So, you know, that is for that famous Mad Hatter's Tea Party. He's always got the 610 on his hat. And this Mars is really now able to bring up the Whore of Babylon, the Merlion, as long as we've got Saturn still in Pisces. Neptune is going to be there, taking away that North Node's place, which is showing this is the true North. That's why King Charles says when he's in Canada is the true North. Maybe Canada is the true North. He's saying it is the true North, that Greenland, the green line in the middle, and at the same time they're bringing up Taurus, strawberry fields forever. Hawaii, where is Hawaii? Hawaii. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like the Canary Islands, there are 7. So that is the 55 kilometers. Hawaii. I was just checking that. I was just having a little look. When he was saying the true North, he's talking about here, and that's right. That's this is the line of Aquarius. So Mars is really now claiming, we've got the South Node and Mars in Leo to birth Merlion. And then we come to the full strawberry moon on the 11th. On the 11th, moon moves on to the tail. So we've still got moon and Venus in full and detriment. And Mars is not quite fully on Regulus, but Mercury has moved onto the kid's knees at home, and Jupiter is still in Taurus. So Venus rules Taurus, and we've still got Jupiter in Taurus, and Jupiter rules the whale's tail. So this is going to change completely, and this is splash and also earthquake, because Venus is in fire. She's in fire and she rules Taurus, where the sun is right on that bullseye, and Jupiter is on the brainstem. Okay. So interesting, June the 11th and 12th, moon visits the teapot. So this is the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. Here we go. The moon will be in Sagittarius. It is. So the moon is in the teapot. It's in D'Artagnan. And So, you know, I'm always wondering when the big bang is going to happen. Where I live, they've had everybody training with the police and the fire engines for I don't know what, but they trained all summer. They've been training for months. When I say all summer, spring. And you know, they've got the gas line, the snake. This is the year of the snake. We're in the year of the snake, and we have a gas line that scatters along the countryside from Mont-de-Marsan to Auch in the shape of a winding Kundalini snake. And they have the cardinal cross posts all the way along, so showing that this is, you know, a new cardinal line. And I've always said what would happen if that was set on fire. So Regulus and Mars closest in the evening star, June the 16th. That's right, we saw that. So 12th, 13th moon is still in Sagittarius, and Jupiter will move. Jupiter will be in Gemini from that 11th. From the 11th, Jupiter moves into Gemini. So that is really huge, and we don't have to go over it again, but this is exactly 9/11 and the Madrid earthquakes. 9/11, 2001. Jupiter, Moon, and Saturn. And now we've got Mercury, Jupiter, and Sun. So Jupiter, Moon, and Saturn. Moon and Saturn are rulers on the cardinal cross. And here they've got Jupiter and Mercury, the Sun, the ruler of Leo, and Mars on Regulus, as the moon is still in Scorpio on the tail for 6/11. Mars is going to be completely conjunct on the 16th on Regulus, and the Sun will be moving on to the Wand of Merlin, and Jupiter will be on the feet, and Mercury will be bang on Sirius. Bang on Sirius. Saturn, Neptune completely combust. And the moon, so the moon will be conjunct to Pluto, Jupiter. Moon will be conjunct to Pluto as Jupiter enters Gemini. Jupiter enters Gemini on the 11th. Okay, well, that takes us to 2 weeks. The 16th will be in 2 weeks' time from now. And all this is happening. We're only going to have, nobody is retrograde but Pluto. So this is what was intensified on the card of Angie. We've got, you know, a focus on Pluto. And then the strawberry moon, we got the Four of Pentacles, Lord of earthly power. So, discs form the shape of a square. The centers of the disc have a swastika-type hexagram symbolizing the union of the Mother Earth. The hexagrams are strange in their design to suggest the feeling of power. The symbol for Capricorn appears above the Sun, and Capricorn appear below. Sun in Capricorn. We'll have Sun in Taurus, Earth sign. Reversed obstacles, lack of enterprise or originality, prejudice, setbacks. And then the next time we'll come on to the last quarter moon. So, darlings, I'm going to leave you. I just want to emphasize the importance of all this is really rising the dark side of Venus. the football match, the bringing down of the house, the slap that Macron got from the hidden hand. This is the hidden hand of Fatima. So I just found this on Reddit. So he's saying the hidden hand and Ra, so Hh88 and Ra, we've got, that's Mars. So he's saying that the fallen ones came to Earth to give polarity, Lucifer, to give us polarity, but that is the mutable cross. All the mutable signs are bipolar. And then he's saying that Venus is Lucifer. So we know that. This is what we're facing right now. My last question, I guess, and the one that I really don't get, is he states that they, Lucifer, originated from Venus and are like Ra. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. This is what's so important, is that Venus is rising, and Venus without being able to discern. So Venus, I'm born with Venus in Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, and we've got Saturn conjunct now to Neptune. So it really is about, it's the best opportunity that you have to have a feeling, as Venus has been exalted in Pisces at the same time, is your ability to get past the empathy and idolizing and believing in others and being able to discern, Hh88, okay, so you can go and look up these people are just repeating the same question. So Venus in Aries, in the home of Ra, in the home of Mars, is really a big thing for this 11th of June. 11th of June, full strawberry moon, Mars on Regulus, Mars the ruler of, so this is the darkest energy, Venus and the moon in detriment and full, and that key has just entered Aries as well, as Jupiter and Mercury conjunct. So this is really Jupiter and Mercury on the keeper of the four corners in this Milky Way gap, as the moon has fallen from the fertility for this full strawberry moon. This is when they can most take over. The sun rules Leo and Mars is in Leo, and Mars rules Aries, where we've got Venus in detriment and the moon in full. So I can't explain more than that, just how intense this is. Pluto is retrograde and squaring to Venus and also to the sun, as the moon is square to South Node and North Node. Okay, darlings, thank you so much. I love you, and I'm going to load this for you, and I'll add a few pics as well. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.